Hello, my gorgeous familia. Let me first off just say thank you, because recording this podcast, sharing this information with you, connecting with so many of you has been such a gift in my life. And speaking of that, I just set up a Patreon. So if you're loving this and if you're following along, if you're learning, if you're sharing, if you're growing with me, I would love if you showed the love. You can visit patreon.com/dropitlikei'tsdoc. Show me a little love. Fun thing is, this is just the beginning. So there's about to be some exclusive content on there. So if you are interested in that as well, check it out. And regardless, I love you and I so appreciate you. So thanks for being on this journey with me. We going up. What up, fam? I am Dr. DeLuna and you are listening to Drop It Like It's Doc podcast. Today, we're gonna talk about all the reasons why you need to ask your doctor for testosterone to inject yourself with every day. Just kidding. We're going to talk about how to do it naturally, because truly, taking hormones usually doesn't solve the reason why you don't have them. Hello, friends. So, yeah, a lot of you want testosterone. And I know this because some of you are my patients and you ask me. And I also know this just because I'm friends with some of you and I hear you talk about your testosterone. And first off, you're not gonna know if you have low testosterone if you've never tested it before. However, there are some symptoms of low testosterone that many people experience even if they've never had it tested. So testosterone helps you build muscle mass. It helps give you a libido. It gives you energy. It helps you with mental focus and concentration and just your ability to show up in the masculine and the balanced masculine, right? The type of man that gets shit done. And let's be real, we are living in a world where not many people get shit done. Fatigue is a thing. Low libido is a thing. Think about the typical male's body in 2023. It's a little bit different than our history. And a lot of that, my friends, has to do with hormone imbalances. And yes, a lot of it can be due to low testosterone. But again, like I said in the intro, the solution to low testosterone is not to give your body testosterone, because let me give you a little physiology lesson quick. Whether you're taking hormonal birth control, whether you're taking synthetic hormones for your adrenal glands, for your estrogen, progesterone, thyroid, testosterone, whatever hormone it is, fill in the blank, you take it. You're taking it by mouth, you're rubbing it in a cream, you're injecting it in your cute little butt, whatever's, maybe even a pellet up your butt. They have those of testosterone too. However it's going into your body, it goes into your blood. That's how it works. These hormones get into your bloodstream and they circulate. When they circulate, they hit receptors in the brain and they tell the brain, homie, we're good, we got it, you can shut down. You don't have to make any hormones, so you just stop making it yourself. So before I even go any further in this conversation, if you are someone that hopes to make a child and you are a man, and you're taking testosterone, you are directly impacting your ability to make healthy, happy sperm. Truly. I've seen this so many times, time and time again. I'm working with a woman who's trying to get pregnant and I'm working with her so closely. I know everything that's going in her body. We're optimizing her fertility. Her hormones are, and then, you know, we finally get the hubby in there and he's like, yeah, I've been taking testosterone. Know that that is going to directly impact spermatogenesis. We want healthy, happy swimmers. So testosterone is incredibly important for fertility for both the man and the woman in the relationship, but low testosterone in the male is typically what we're going to be talking about, because I've worked with women before whose doctors have told them that they have low testosterone, which, you know, they might. Again, the same lifestyle things that we're going to talk about are going to play into whatever gender you are, but I've had truly patients who have been prescribed testosterone, usually by a male doctor. I mean, I'll just leave that there, but usually by a male doctor. You know what happens if you get too much testosterone as a woman? And I've seen it. Your clitoris turns into a penis. I'm not even fucking kidding you. Look it up right now. If you're like, Dr. DeLuna has lost it, I have not lost it. That's how you grow a penis. If you want a penis, you can get one. Just inject yourself with testosterone and your clitoris is literally going to turn into one. So, you know, hormones are really powerful and you always want them to be in balance. And my patient that actually has now a small penis, she loves it. She said she's never had better sex in her life. Personally, I don't want one though. And what this individual probably didn't understand is that there's a reason why her testosterone was low. And we're going to go through those right now. So your brain is always talking to your reproductive organs that are making any hormone, really. And they're always dancing and communicating with one another in your blood, because each hormone has the ability to increase or decrease another. And they all have the impact of going back to the brain and turning switches on or off. And if you are someone who is living in a ball of stress, so many of us are living in a stressful environment. Some of that is something that we could change. A lot of it is something that we can't, but regardless, it's how you perceive your stress, right? So if you are in a very, fight or flighty state all the time, your brain is telling your adrenal glands, it's not safe out there. It's not safe at all. We got to pump it up with cortisol. So ACTH from your brain will then swim down to your adrenal glands and tell your body to make cortisol. Cortisol it's super powerful. For anyone that's ever taken a steroid medication that's in a way, shape, or form similar to cortisol, and you know how powerful it is, right? It inhibits inflammation. It can stop a rash in its tracks, but it's also doing the same thing to your other hormones. So I find that stress is the root cause of hormone imbalance in almost every person that has one, honestly. And it's because your body is incredibly smart. And if it perceives that there is something dangerous, it's going to shut down reproduction because it puts you first. It puts your life, your survival first. So that could be really any hormone. But as far as testosterone goes, cortisol does inhibit testosterone synthesis. And if you want to get really, really nerdy, I invite you to look up how hormones are made, because they're all made from cholesterol. So if your doctor told you that cholesterol was bad, yes, in high levels, it can signify that you have a lot of inflammation. Low cholesterol to me is actually a huge issue, because if you have cholesterol on your blood work that is below 150, it's usually below 200. If it's above 200, then you start to think about high cholesterol. But if it's below 200, some people say, oh, it's fine. But if it's below 150, it's not fine, because then you don't even have the building blocks to make your hormones. Whether we're talking about cortisol, progesterone, estrogen, testosterone, you just simply don't have it. So first and foremost, if you are a male and if you are a vegan, or if you are a male and if you are just you don't have enough cholesterol in your body, then you're not going to be able to make any hormone. And yes, your testosterone symptoms might be the loudest, but it's not, the root isn't because your body doesn't have the ability to make testosterone. It doesn't have the building blocks. So nutrition is huge here. Protein intake is huge. Just having the fuel that you need, and not even to speak to the amount of minerals that are needed to make testosterone: zinc, copper, iron, B12. So before you decide to inject yourself with a hormone, I invite you to really nourish yourself, to decrease your stress and to see what can happen. Something else that can absolutely impact your testosterone is sleep. Because sleep is when we, everyone is making testosterone, but men, you're pumping out testosterone, or at least you should be, right? So when you're sleeping, it's building and building and building and building. And men actually cycle with the sun. Women cycle with la luna, the moon. So men, your testosterone should be the highest in the morning. So also, if you've had blood work done and if your testosterone came back low, check in. Ask yourself, when did I get those labs done? Was it after dinner? Was it in the afternoon? Because then it's not accurate. You always want to look in the morning, because then you'll see how high your testosterone is. And if you're not sleeping, it's hard for your body to produce testosterone, because that's when your body heals and that's when your body comes into balance. And that is when a lot of testosterone is being synthesized. So all of you that stay up late, drinking, vaping, don't sleep, and then you're wondering why you're growing breasts, it's probably because of everything I just said. Because sleep is essential. I don't want to hear any of the bullshit, I'll sleep when I'm dead. That doesn't actually exist. That actually just brings you closer to death. We need sleep. But also, things like alcohol, things like tobacco. Vaping is such an issue right now, and we are seeing such significant shifts in mental health, in neurological health, in hormone balancing, in almost every system of the body. And testosterone drastically decreases in smokers, vapors, and drinkers. And it might not sound so cool to you to be like, I just want to inject myself with testosterone, not stop drinking this pack of Bud Light every night. Let me just say that also beer really helps you create a beautiful body called a beer belly and breasts. So that's a thing. And everything that you put in your body has the potential to impact your hormones. Alcohol, just want to remind you, is actually poison. So your liver has to work really hard to clear that out. And your liver is also there to balance hormones. So if your body is focusing on detoxing out alcohol, then it's not going to be able to balance your hormones, because if you have too much of one hormone floating around in your blood, it will shut down hormonal communication. It will shut down the whole cascade. So that's kind of what we were talking about with cortisol, right? But your body makes other hormones when the brain triggers the adrenal glands. It also makes something called DHEA. And DHEA is an androgen, meaning that it will help you have male sex characteristics, but essentially it's a stress hormone. So if your DHEA is really high, that's not ideal. Because your body, again, makes everything from cholesterol, or many of your hormones that we're speaking about in this conversation from cholesterol. It goes cholesterol and then to pregnenolone. You can even test your pregnenolone levels on labs. And then there's so many different ways that it can go down depending on what enzyme is active. And you and your choices, your lifestyle, your nutrient levels, your stress levels, they all determine which pathway that pregnenolone goes down. For some people, it'll go to progesterone, which is really important. For other people, it's going to go down the estrogen pathway. For some people, it's just going straight to cortisol and DHEA, and it's not even making it to estrogen or testosterone. And that's because your body is trying to show up for you. And the signals that are going into your body dictate which enzymes turn on. Your nutrient status dictates what enzymes can even work. Some people have even genetic SNPs, meaning that some of those markers, some of those enzymes don't work as well, and they're a little bit slower. So hormonal impacts can show up in that way as well. But I do see that stress can absolutely change the entire pathway to go to cortisol or DHEA. Want to know another really cool enzyme? Aromatase. You might have heard of aromatase inhibitors. They're used for a number of different conditions, but aromatase is an enzyme that actually converts your testosterone that you just worked so hard to make into estrogen. Certain medications can upregulate this enzyme. Stress can upregulate this enzyme. Fat upregulates this enzyme. So truly, my sweet friends that keep asking me to prescribe you testosterone, no, first of all, I'm never going to do it. Second of all, know that you just need to actually give a fuck about your body. You can't take the easy way out. And I think as humans, we like to take the easy way out, right? Like you see something's low, you just give it to your body, but that's not, physiology is way beyond that. So if you want to get your body in balance, you have to be very mindful about what signals you're telling it to have. Exercise and losing weight, number one thing that you could do to raise your testosterone. As your fat goes down, testosterone will actually boost more muscle mass, which helps your body burn through blood sugar, because things like insulin resistance can impact your ability to make testosterone as well. Insulin resistance is essentially a blood sugar imbalance that is the starting point to type 2 diabetes. It's actually really easy to get diabetes, really easy based on the way that we all eat. So you need to be mindful about that. Absolutely. I would, if you're even concerned about your testosterone, if you're like, my penis doesn't work as well, start working out. Start there. Drink water instead of beer. But really though, cardio and losing weight, number one thing. Also, just making sure that you're getting enough sleep will change your life. Making sure that you're actually eating real food will change your life. Cutting down on alcohol, tobacco, vaping will change your life. Marijuana also definitely impacts testosterone levels because it can impact enzymes. So I would say smoking anything can impact your hormones dramatically. So the next time that you're out with your boys, you dancing at the club, checking out a hottie, and then you're like, oh, I don't know if I should go up to her. First of all, you should, because that's what a masculine man would do. They would walk on up to her and they would be in that masculine element. But also remind yourself that as you keep drinking your alcoholic beverage and as you puff on your vape, your testosterone is tanking, and then you're up all night, you don't sleep, and then you wake up in the morning and you're like, wait, I don't have full morning erections anymore. That's a sign that your testosterone is going down. You should wake up in the morning and have a pretty solid one. If not, that's usually when men will start to go to the doctor, right? They're like, oh no, my penis isn't working. And half the time it's from diet, it's from lifestyle, it's from lack of sleep. And also there are so many blood vessels that are going to the genital organs. Blood vessels are directly impacted from anything inflammatory. Most of the food in this country that you could buy in any store is quite inflammatory. Most of the things that we choose to put into our body are quite inflammatory. They're impacting the blood flow even to the organs that are making these hormones. So everything does add up. And the fun thing about being a naturopathic doctor, and I know I say that a lot, but it really is fun being a naturopathic doctor, is that you can step back into physiology and actually find out why these things are happening, because it all does make sense. And it's usually way more complex than you just being deficient in an injection or deficient in a hormone that you're taking in another direction. And you could truly fill in the gap with estrogen, with progesterone, with thyroid hormone. There's always a reason that your body is, you know, out of balance. So focusing on the foundations of health will help everything. It will help you sleep. It'll help you eat. It'll help you lose weight. And it's going to balance your mental health, because if you are also in a stress response all day, your body is not going to prioritize fertility, and testosterone does impact fertility in both men and women. And you know, yes, if you are a woman, you can inject yourself with testosterone. You can stick a little pellet up your butt. But if your voice starts to change, know that it's because your body thinks that you're now a little boy going through puberty. That is not ideal. And I will also say that your hormones with age will go down. You should not have the same hormone levels as someone that's going through puberty, someone in their early 20s if you're in your 50s. Things are going to decline. But can you be optimal for your age? Absolutely. Do these things matter? Absolutely. So the power is in your hands, and it's actually always been in your hands if you are willing to do the work. And really, I invite you to do the work, because it's going to change every aspect of your life. So if you are someone who is working on your sex drive, who is working on your mental health, who is working on your libido, yeah, you need to check out your hormones. But if they're not where you want them to be, I really invite you to work on the foundations of health. Definitely work on your adrenal glands, and know that if things just still aren't making sense, for instance, if you go to the doctor, your testosterone is normal, your DHEA is normal, but things just still aren't adding up, it could be a different hormone imbalance. I've actually worked with individuals that have had small prolactinomas, which is a small benign tumor in the brain that makes a bunch of prolactin, and it inhibits all hormones below. So dig deeper. There's always an answer. I want you to feel empowered that you can find the root of these things before you turn to a one-size-fits-all solution, because you are unique, and your treatment should also be unique. So drink good water, sleep well, and I hope that you wake up with a strong woody that tells you that you are full of testosterone. And if not, chat with your doctor, take a deep dive, and I promise you, doing this work really will impact everything. So enjoy. Think of me.